Let's go, let's go. About to get started. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I couldn't be more pumped. I couldn't be more excited. Now, I know we've had an amazing Overflow October. It's been overflowing with conversation, overflowing with fruit, overflowing with gems, but nothing comes close to today, the grand finale of Rich Table Talk for Overflow October. And we have an amazing special treat. Not only is the person that I'm about to bring before you a person that's very special in my life, in my heart, a very close friend and spiritual sister. Let's talk divine connection. Let's talk alignment. Let's talk impact. Let's talk God's plan. This is all that and then some. So I really want to just make sure that you guys are ready for what you're about to hear tonight. You guys might want to go ahead and get a pen and paper and take notes, because this is going to be a higher level of conversation. You know, we've been talking Rich Talk all month long. And, you know, what exactly is this rich thing we're talking about? We've had people from all walks of life, inside the palace, outside the palace. We even had the Rich nightclub co-founder last week as well, Mr. Logic Mixon today. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, just when you thought we already had the creme de la creme, I'm talking SHE.E.O. I'm talking United Nations ambassador holder. We're talking what you call it, Barack Obama Lifetime Achievement Award holder. We're talking mentored by the late great Miles Monroe. We're talking now we talk figures, you know, we talk big bank, and nobody knows big bank more than the person I'm about to bring to you. I'm talking 25 years old, already reached a mil, no cap, and still going and still glowing and growing to the next level, and showing others how to do the same. Yes, it's not only about her, it's about the impact. It's about the trail that she's blazing. Since I've known this amazing anointed woman of God, wow, she's always had a heart for the people. And she took me, little old Maren from Little Manchester, under her wing. And before I even, you know me, I'm the emotional type. I'll start bursting into tears before we even got out the blocks. So let me introduce to some and present to others Dr. Chyna Bethley. Are you out there?
Hey, I am here. Please let me know if you can hear me loud and clearly.
Oh, wow. Yes, sis, I can hear you loud and clear, live in living color. Hey, girl.
Awesome. Hey, so excited. Yes.
Amazing, right?
Yes.
How's your Residual Friday going, first of all?
It's amazing. You know, it's so funny because I totally forget what days it is. And the checks just be piling up, and that's a beautiful thing, because I remember when Fridays came so frequently, and I just knew the month was coming soon, so I didn't like it. But now it's real. Wow, it's Friday again. Yay.
Again, right? It's just like, you know, we talk multiple streams, we talk that talk, but when you're really on a mission, and I'm sure you can attest to this because you are definitely, this is the queen behind the mission, the woman behind the movement, you know, it at some point, you know, very early on, it starts to not even be about you and your bottom line. And like you said, you check and you're like, literally every Friday, I like to say, you know, we've been in this space, this amazing space, you know, where we've got the best academy in the world. We're talking Forbes approved, you know, academy, where it's all about, you know, how to increase your economy, you know. And sometimes I forget, number one, I've got some trades running in other accounts. And then when I see every week that Skrill hitting, you know, we love Skrill. Shout out to all my Skrill users here in the UK. If you don't know what that is, get to know. We'll really, you know, maybe if we've got time, we'll go through that. But I just want to take it back. Let's just rewind. Let's just rewind. You know, right now, you know, we're almost living in the future. You know, we're walking today in yesterday's prayers. And I just want you to kind of tell the people, for those out there who maybe sat here wondering, okay, what am I doing here again? Okay, what kind of rich is this? Like, you know, it's almost Christmas. People want to know, okay, what is actually out there to help me? But, you know, you've come from very, very humble beginnings. So just tell us, you know, a little bit more about you, like where you came from and how you've got to the point where you are now as the SHE.E.O. of Rich University.
Well, first of all, I just want to say big shouts out to you, UK. You've been just extremely consistent. You've been really, really disciplined to get to the point that you are now. So many people could have easily just said, I'm gonna put my pinky toe in it, see what's gonna happen, and then that's it. And, you know, many years later, we're still connected. Time could not separate us. Space could not separate us, but you are truly, you know, just really making a major, major impact, and now helping your entire community there in Manchester, United Kingdom, to see a vision that you know oh so well. If anybody knows the vision of Rich University, it's right here, because we were in the trenches at the very, very early stages of it. You know, praying for days that we live in right now. And so it's just beautiful to see the manifestation of what God is doing, not just in my life, not just in my family life, but in the lives of the people that are connected to something much bigger than all of us individually. So I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. Grew up there, love the culture, love the people. My family, most of them are still there. My parents are still married. They created a phenomenal foundation for me. Just kind of seeing what it looks like to not be a quitter. To see what it looks like and going through processes that was beautiful for me. And I was going to need that, not just in my own life and marriage, but also in business. My daddy was a hustler by nature. He's the guy that's going to look for, not only is he a hustler by nature, like he always would say that he felt like, you know, he was the king and he didn't have to work. Like, so
wow.
That's how he felt, you know, that he was a king. And he didn't have to work. And my mom had a completely different philosophy. Obviously, she grew up very traditionally, and, you know, she was going to do whatever it took to make sure that the family was good. And so she worked traditional jobs, but she still taught me so much, seeing that she did whatever it took to make sure that her family was good. And it was many times where, you know, sometimes it was my dad that was the breadwinner. Sometimes it was my mom that was the breadwinner. Either way, we just had an opportunity to really just to see both sides of it. So I was always the person really taking the best of situations and making the best of it, opposed to looking at, you know, growing up in New Orleans, like it's not, I don't, when I grew up, it wasn't no like good, if you grew up in New Orleans, you will sneeze away from the hood if you're not in it. If you're not in the hood, you will sneeze away from it. So if you're growing up in New Orleans, period, I don't care how good you might feel like it was. But the thing is, I never grew up feeling like we were poor, because we always had the basic necessities that was needed. Obviously, we wasn't traveling. We wasn't going out to eat at restaurants. It wasn't, you know, a whole lot that we did, but we had, to me, what was important. And so until I really walked into success and was able to acquire wealth by the grace of God, I didn't really realize, you know, what we have. So that's
just, you know, just what was that journey like? So going from, you know, very humble beginnings in, you know, where your mom and your dad, they're your main role models. They're our first role models and what we know basically of the world and whatever our surroundings are. And I know when I met you, you know, in that, like, I'm taking it back to Camp Creek days, like all the way back to
Camp Creek, baby.
You know, for me, when I met you, you was already, you know, very established. You were in ATL at the time. So, you know, you'd left New Orleans. So that, you know, even that was a journey in itself. You know, that was a miracle for you to make it out of New Orleans with Hurricane Katrina. Then to get to the level where, I mean, when the day I met you, let me just kind of take people back to just kind of close your eyes and I had been in the United States for, I think, 3 months at that point. As you know, I just got my visa. I'd been through some very turbulent, you know, ups and downs. I've been coming back and forth to Atlanta like 3 months at a time. Is it 3 or 6 months that you're allowed to be there before my visa actually hit? And then when it did, and you know, I was just ready to kind of. So I wanted to solve. I really wanted to, you know, I've always been very, very ambitious. I was there originally wanting to do fashion styling and TV and film, but you know, you have to work your way to the top. You've got a network, you've got to, you know, work. And I would work in a little call center job. I'd met people that not all had my best interest at heart. And I actually was praying that, oh Lord, the next people that I meet, because you don't know who to trust when you're new, you know, when you're a small fish in a big pond. And I said, the next person I meet, and my mom can attest to this because she prayed it too, that, you know, the person that I would meet would be, have my best interest at heart, you know, not want to take anything from me, but, you know, only want to kind of pour into me and only want, you know, be able to grow, you know, with a person. And, you know, that day on Camp Creek, when I was outside of the CVS waiting for my photos to get developed because I just got my car, like that's a journey in itself, having no car in the ATL. I was literally just getting on my feet, and I've gone to use the restroom in the hotel bathroom. Shout outs to Holiday Inn. And I was actually embarrassed. I was a bit what we call here in the UK stush, where you're or bougie or whatever you want to call it, you know, like, I don't want them to think, you know, anyway, I didn't care, you know, I needed to use the restroom. So if I would have gone in that restroom 2 minutes earlier or 2 minutes later, this rich table, anything would not even be happening right now. So that's why I just give all grace and honor to God, because when I came out of that cubicle, there stood before me, I think at that time you was Chyna Bethley. There wasn't any doctor yet. I was even there, you know, when you got your PhD. It was amazing. And you know, you spoke to me. You could have even not even spoke to me, and you know, you spoke to me. You were doing a meeting. You were already into network marketing at the time. And going through my head, I mean, first of all, I thought you were the Mary Kay lady because you had your makeup was done. And I was a makeup girl as well, you know, still am. So I was always attracting Mary Kay ladies trying to sign me up into Mary Kay, and I'd just done that and it didn't really go so well. So I was thinking, oh no, I don't want to do any more Mary Kay. And you invited me, you know, to the meeting that you were having. And in my mind, I didn't even have the intention of going back. I don't know what it even was like. Well, I do. It was the grace of God, you know, the spirit of obedience, because I was really spiritually led. Because for me to leave and then to come back, I mean, I think I went to the what do you call it, the Target or whatever, and I'm driving out because you've got to go past the Holiday, and I thought, oh, let me see, you had some juice and a waist shaper, and I was thinking of going to Miami, and I thought, you know, I could do with kind of getting in shape. Let me just go, you know, I've got nothing else to really do. And I was blown away. The women in that room, the dynamic women that looked like me, that were just so upwardly mobile, just so dynamic, so powerful. It just pulled something out of me. You know, they were talking big numbers. It wasn't even the figures that they was talking about. It was the confidence. It was the fact that even though they were strong women, you all had, you know, strong husbands there as well. So it wasn't like, you know, it was a dynasty situation. And this little girl from Manchester was just drinking it in. I couldn't believe it. And the rest is really history. You know, you got up there, you spoke in front of the room, you spoke into me, whatever it was that you said, you pulled something out of me, and I was just ready to do whatever, you know, get whatever, however way. I mean, I'm not even going to go go through how I got into that business, but it was hustling from day one. So just even like tell us, how did you kind of get into that atmosphere? How did you go from being a girl in New Orleans, being around these dynamic women, dynamic leaders, becoming one of them, emulating one? I mean, there's not even been any ceiling. As long as I've known you, it's been from glory to glory to glory, gated complexes, everything. Let's just, you know.
Yeah, well, praise God. That was definitely a trip down memory lane for sure. And I believe it's just what you just mentioned, you know, being able to emulate what I saw. And that's why I think it's so important that we get into atmospheres and environments around people who not just physically acquire more than we do, but who are people that's supposed to make impact on the lives of other people, because that's one of the reasons I wanted to leave New Orleans. It wasn't a whole lot that I saw there that inspired me to do more, you know. It wasn't a whole lot, but I gravitated to whatever I did see. I took risk, and that's the thing about success. If you want to be successful, you have to be a risk taker. If you're not a risk taker, you're going to have to develop the skill of taking risks, because if you don't take risks, I can guarantee you will not be successful. And so I would identify people. I remember when I was in New Orleans and I was doing hair, you know, in beauty school. And so I met this girl who she did nails, and she was young and she had a lot of money. I was always attracted to wealth. I'm gonna just tell you right now, like bottom line, like, let's be real clear. I knew I wasn't about to be broke and dusty. Like I wanted to win, and I know I needed some money to do it. And so some people got to kind of figure that part out from the beginning. Like it didn't always matter how. I just know that I needed to be wealthy, and I was attracted to wealth. And so this girl, she was doing nails. She was really young, and she had a lot of money, young, lot of money. And I was like, how did she pull that off? And she gave me the game. She told me that she went to beauty school while she was still in high school, and she went to beauty school at night, and I didn't even know that was an option. And so I promise you the next week I was signed up in beauty school while I was still in high school. And then when I graduated from high school, I was going to a young lady, Kawana. She's in a business now.
Hey, Kawana, Miss Pretty Rich. She's on the line.
Pretty Rich. Perfect name for her too, Pretty Rich, right? So I was in high school. She used to do my hair, beautiful, deep wave. She had her own salon. Her and her husband was about to open up another salon. Then they was opening up a kid. So all these, so I was attracted to success. So I wanted to be around that. So what I did was I stood around as much as I could, started working in her shop, learned a whole lot. I was always willing to be a student. And I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people, the reason that they haven't achieved not just the level of success that they want, but a level of success is because they think that you stop learning when you finish school. I wasn't interested in learning what the professors had to say unless the professors had what I wanted. So if the professor was just teaching the curriculum, then that wasn't impressive to me. That's cool, but I never was in the box. I want to learn from people who physically have what I want or what I need to go to the next level. And so coming to Atlanta, just imagine, because even in New Orleans, we would ride around, look at the beautiful houses, you know, like in inspire, like, oh baby, that's our house right there. So in Atlanta, right, we would just drive around. And here's the thing that's so interesting. In our community in New Orleans, like honestly, people probably thought we was crazy and wasting our time or wasting gas doing stuff like that. But we were really, you know, seeds were being planted. We were saying that, wow, you know, we didn't understand fully the word of God then, but I know now that God has no respect of person. So if he could do it for that person, surely he could do it for me. So I need to stay in the atmosphere as much as possible. So when we got to Atlanta, because of Hurricane Katrina, I was diagnosed with breast cancer right away. But the thing about challenges in life is that they're guaranteed to come. So hey, I'm diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 25. It really shook my world up, but I wasn't willing to allow it to stop me. And so we were filming a music video at the time. It's so interesting because I was a music artist. My husband was
what was your artist name?
That's what the tattoo represents. Actually, this is the tattoo. This was supposed to be ice. We did a horrible job, but the idea was so my music name was Ice. In New Orleans, there was already a female rapper by the name of Chyna, and I didn't want any kind of confusion, so I didn't want my name to be Chyna. So my name was Ice, and I had the tattoo where the ice was dripping into diamonds. He did a horrible job, but the idea was cute. And so when I hold the mic, you can kind of see the ice dripping into diamonds, meaning ice, or whatever the case may be. So that was my name back then. And I was diagnosed with breast cancer during the time that I was preparing to film my first video shoot. And my husband was really ready to stop it all. And I was like, there's no way, more now than ever, we got to push through. And I think that's the biggest thing. If I could say to anybody while we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is that when life happens to you, it's not time to sit down. When life is happening to you, it's really just a test to see how strong you're going to be to push through. When life is happening to you, is an opportunity to learn, is an opportunity to grow. And so when life happens to you, the worst thing that you can do is kind of become a victim or start to feel sorry for yourself. Like, honestly, it's an opportunity to grow. And so lo and behold, when we came to Atlanta, even with all the adversity, we would look at the homes, and in Atlanta, you could go in the houses. Now in New Orleans, they ain't gonna let you go.
Oh, for real?
Child, everything will probably be gone. All the fixtures, all the doorknobs, like they'll find a way to take everything. So in New Orleans, the houses wasn't open, so you just go past and look at them mugs. But in Atlanta, the doors was open to the houses. We was like, we thought in the beginning, we thought like somebody messed up and the door was open. The door's open, let's go see what's in there. And we would start, you know, oh, babe, look at our master room, look at this. And we would start to dream. And a lot of people minimize the power of the dream. They minimize the power of just having vision. The power of a childlike imagination is so powerful, because we live there until that began to be our reality.
Yeah, you know, I've always been like that. I've always been a visionary. And I think that was, you know, that was a part of our magnetic attraction, that we've always had vision from the beginning. I remember us, you know, I mean, rich, come on, royal, inspirational, courageous, and humble. There was no vehicle when God you know, gave that vision, you know, when we was, you know, meditating on scripture those days. You know, we was thinking beauty. We were always beauty girls, creative, royal glam collections and all that kind of thing. Remember, that's what we thought rich was. Who knew? I mean, it's so important to be spiritually led. And, you know, shout outs to Miss Millionaire on the book club. Something you just said there, and it's a big thing about leadership when we're talking about, you know, and what you see and what you end up emulating. And, you know, leaders always lead by example from the front. And that's the only way. Representation is so important. It's so important for us to be the change that we want to see, and to, you know, to use our voice, to strive to do things, because there's others that are looking, you know, there's young kings, young queens that are looking for us to step up. And you definitely stepped up, and you've inspired me from day one. Guys, if you have any questions for Dr. Chyna, please drop them in the question and answer section. Go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll be coming to that portion in a little while where you guys can come into the room. I just want to kind of shift and kind of, push things forward a bit, because, the story and the journey has been beautiful. It's been amazing. I mean, well, actually, I've got a question. I've got a question for you first. What did you think when you first saw this, this young Black girl with the funny accent in the lobby of the restroom of I don't think I've ever asked you this, like, what came to mind? And I don't ever remember us not being close. You were pregnant with Leggy at the time. It just literally was like 0 to 100. Remember, we drove to shout out to the amazing, millionairess, Dr. Jill Tankard. I think within 2 or 3 months, you trusted me with my little PT Cruiser. I remember we drove to Tennessee, and I remember being so scared driving, thinking, oh my God, please, Lord, be with me. Like, I don't want to, like, please, she's trusting me. But it was always so natural. So what was it that, what did you think when you met me? Like, I definitely, did you think I'd still be around now? I don't know.
I didn't think that far. I just only thought about the moment. I just remember your energy. I remember what you look like. And I remember you belong, you fit in. I was like, are you with us? Like, you literally looked like you was with us. It looked like you came for what we were doing. And that's why I tell people, even in business, the more authentic you are, the better, because honestly, you look like you belong with us. And so you was like, what do you do? And that's all I remember. You belonged. You belong right with us. It made sense. And so that's what I remember. I remember your energy, your makeup, everything was all glammed up. Like, I love the bossy chick. Like, come on, you can come. Like, so that gave you some access because it already was there. And so that's what I remember. I remember the energy. I remember the look. And I remember the accent was definitely like, oh, that's a big deal, Yeah, that's a big deal. Like, oh, she's from London or somewhere over there, right? So that's
for real.
Yeah.
And every day I think we must have went to Jason's Deli Boy every day to get that gumbo. Remember that? What's really funny, because I had no expectation. Like I said, I did pray for somebody, but I didn't think when I met you, okay, this was what was happening. I don't know. I literally. Yeah. It's almost like white noise, because nothing ever felt unfamiliar. Nothing ever felt, it never felt new. I'm really trying to remember. I never felt uncomfortable. I never felt on the outside. I knew your heart from the beginning, but I also felt a kindredness in that, me as a person here in the UK, I wouldn't be quick to just, embrace someone random and bring them into my home. And I received that from you also. So I felt very privileged that, that I remember getting the code for the gate, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, she's letting me in for real. And I just knew you wasn't that type of person without knowing you.
Let me tell you something. You're right about that, because I'm not that chick at all. So
I know now, for real.
That's truly the Holy Spirit. That was all God for sure. I think I felt like you were I couldn't imagine, obviously I had Anjay. And so though we were always more sisterly, like, I think I started to feel very motherly very early on. And I was thinking to myself, you're here by yourself all the way. And like, the thought of that freaked me out, that you were way in the United States. And I don't know why I felt an obligation or responsibility to really just make sure you were good. Like, come on, let's make sure she good. Immediately brought you out with all the girls that I knew was going to surround, to just make sure that you were good, because it was like she by herself. Like, that's how I felt. So now, knowing me all this time, I'm the most publicly private person that you will ever meet.
100%.
I know people for years that don't even know where I physically like honesty. So for you to get the gate code, be able to get the subdivision, come in like on a regular basis. I mean, you were there when the legacy.
I was there when she was born.
Like, we were coming up with names together because we thought she was a boy the whole time. So definitely Holy Spirit. I
just want to thank you. I just definitely want to take this moment. If I've never said it before, number one, love you like life itself. I'm really, really, truly grateful for you being obedient and spiritually led like that, because that's not an easy thing. I could have been a whole crazy person I was from a whole other country. I could have had crazy and, it could have been anything, but you allowed yourself to let the Spirit lead you. And you've just, like I said, you've always been authentic. You've always let me in, and you put me on, you put me on game. From day one, we were, I would be, go and talk to that girl. I was like, what do I say? Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm working. Let's do this.
I need to get you some money right away. One of the things that I knew is that, like, one of the areas that I've been really good in, and I thank God for, is being able to be creative enough. I think people, it's not that they lack money. People who feel like they're going through a tough time, they lack creativity. And so when you become creative and tap into your gifts and talents, whatever that is, you will start to allow money to really authentically flow to you. And so I saw the gifts and talents that you had. You just needed to be kind of stirred in the right direction. And we needed to take that energy and put it into the right places. Always had the energy. Now let's bring that thing together and allow it to attract. So yeah.
Wow, amazing. I've got some questions from some of our attendees tonight. It says, how did you mobilize a team organization in an organization of independent traders? So we're bringing it to present day, you know, to Rich. For those who don't know, we are rich because we are royalty, but we are in a global market space, you know, where we help people basically turn their phones into an ATM. So the question asker wants to know, you know, how you mobilize the team and organization within this space of independent traders.
I think for me, you know, I never focused on like Forex. It wasn't about Forex for me. It was always kind of like when, like I say, with wealth, it wasn't necessarily about what vehicle that God would have chose. To me, that's not necessarily my business, because I wouldn't have chose Forex. I would have probably chose beauty or marketing or something that made sense for me, right?
Hello. Yep.
But when God brought me here, I knew that it was also connected to my vision and my dream, because I saw something probably bigger than those industries could provide for me. So for me, it wasn't about Forex, it was about freedom. So I think, you know, this space is so unique, and here's why. Most of the time when you have a company like this, you got a product that you just have a customer. That's it. The customer doesn't have a way that they can make money. The customer just gets the product. They get the tea, they get the coffee, they get the juice, they get the garment, you know, they get the vacation, whatever you're selling. The thing that makes what we have so interesting is that the customer gets money too. And it's really easy to confuse a customer.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm just wanting to provide freedom to people. And what I know is most people realistically don't have the money that it takes to become what I know that is my goal to help them to be, which is a lifelong profitable trader. So most people will come in this space with a skeptical $50, skeptical $100, skeptical $300, skeptical $1,000. And if it doesn't work for them with that, then 30 days, 60 days, 90 days later, they tell us that an industry that's been around for hundreds of years, for centuries, doesn't work. And I know that we have a bigger responsibility and an obligation to our community. So at large, we got to help people make money so that they can be around 18 months from now, so that they can be around 24 months from now. And so for me, how do I organize the actual, what was the question again? I saw something. Oh, you removed it.
He said, like, organize a team of independent traders. I mean, and I want to add to
that. I don't want to organize a team of independent traders. I don't, that's not my thing. Like I am thing is that. So I just want to introduce you to a platform. You see what I'm saying? That's like, I don't want to be your Lord and Savior. I just want to introduce you to the King of Kings. I don't want Christ's responsibility. I don't want that burden on my shoulders. I am inadequate of doing that, but I know that I can introduce you to. You see what I'm saying? So my philosophy is that I don't want that responsibility to organize that. I simply want to let you know what's available if you're seeking freedom, if you're looking for a way to make money from home, if you're looking for an additional stream of income. And then you go in, and because it's available, you pick what makes sense for you. I just want to introduce you. So that means that the person coming in has to have a desire, has to be able to follow direction, and has to have a level of discipline to go the distance. That ain't for me to do. I made up my mind, I'm going to win. Now, if you want to win with me, I'm going to introduce you to come in, and you're going to choose what makes the most sense for you.
Winwithchyna.com, you know, she's the rich plug at this point. You know, just even touching on that, why, what is it that you think, you know, as long as I've known you, it's never been about you, it's always been about people, even if there was something that, you know, we needed personally, or you know, it's where do you think that kind of that natural whale, you know, when we're talking traits of people, where does that come from? You know, and a whale, for those who don't know, that's somebody who is always, they're driven by helping people. You know, you have your sharks that are money driven, you have your urchins that are driven by, you know, figures and information, and then your dolphins that like to have fun. You was always a whale stroke dolphin. I would say you're a shark.
Wow, that's so interesting. I never.
You're a shark. You're definitely a shark whale now.
Oh Lord, so that's so interesting because of all of them. I mean, obviously, I know I like helping people, but you put it into a real big perspective because now you literally making me think about since childhood, I never felt so well until now. Like that's really deep. Like, and let me tell you why it's so deep. When I was a young girl, I wasn't a fighter because I wanted to be a fighter. I was a fighter because if anybody's on here from New Orleans, you know what I'm saying. New Orleans was kind of divided, right? So I always kind of felt like I didn't belong because I was what they would call maybe like at the time, passe blanc. I was, you know, a Creole girl. So
what do you say, passe blanc?
Passe blanc, yeah, like
oh, I like it. Passe blanc. What up,
yeah,
passe
so
blanc?
but anyway, so as a young girl, I had it hard because I wasn't dark enough to be with the dark girls, and I wasn't, you know, bright enough to be with the white folks, and so I kind of felt in the middle where my own people, and so I had to fight because that was my way of standing my ground. So I was a fighter growing up, not because I was a messy girl. Never been a messy girl. Never been a messy girl.
Yeah.
You know, always loved girls. So I wasn't like intimidated or jealous by girls, but I fought for people. Like literally, like my mom just left here and she tell me I got put out of schools. And they would call her up on the phone and they would be like, and she's like, what did you do? And I was like, no, because they was messing with that girl and it had never had anything to do with me. So
no one was messing with you. You was basically the hero. You put on the cake.
I beat the bullies up for the messing with the little people. I would beat up the bullies for messing with. So until you said what you said about I always saw myself, because remember, I've always been attracted to wealth. I love having fun. You can keep the details. Like I'm least analytical, but put that to the side. But until you said that, I didn't realize how much well I am. I believe, I don't know. I believe everybody could have it. Everybody could win. I believe that everybody, if they would just believe, and I think it's because it's connected to my purpose in life. So nations and generations has nothing to do with I am. You know, it has nothing to do with Forex. It has to do with my call on my life. God wants me to impact nations and generations of people to help them to believe who they actually are in him.
Wow. And I stand testament to that. You helped me. Isaiah 60 this thing out. I mean, we got another question. How should we react if our team members are not responsive to the building initiatives that we put in place? Now, that's a great question for you because you are if anyone doesn't know what, you are a professional network marketer in my eyes. Now, when you brought this up, I just want to tell a quick story. When you brought this opportunity to me, you know, of saying yes to Forex, the first thing I said before I said yes, I kind of had the yes ready because I said, well, if anything I know about my China girl, she's going to go to the top of whatever it is. So I want to get in early. First move said, I'm not missing this boat. Not again. I missed the artist boat. I missed the carrot bag boat ish. I said, okay, no, now I'm getting in position. I'm going to be whatever the top is. But I was not so whaley at that time. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I said, it's not one of those talking people things, is it? Because I know what you're into. And you're like, no, girl, you can make your money. I was like, okay, cool, sign me up. So what is it? Or how do you get to that point to meet? Because I'm there now, you know, I'm there now. I'm wanting to make other people responsive in, you know, building initiatives that we can put in place.
You definitely have an opportunity to create a culture that will help people to realize that, you know, it's beneficial for them. But that comes with pace. Like, honestly, the people who are currently on board, if they want to be customers, let them be customers. It's time to attract the people who really have vision to impact, who really have vision to help. Like, you got to identify those people. You can develop the other ones, but that's going to take some time. It's going to take about 18 months. So you need to attract Chynas. You need to attract people who are in this industry, who appreciates this industry, who are entrepreneur minded, because if not, you got employee minded people that think a certain way because they've been taught to think that way. And the hardest thing you can do is convert an employee minded person with no desire to have a free mind into doing something like this. Like, they're going to fight you on that. Because, you know, just like Wanda said, I love how she breaks it down. There's 3 classes. And if we broke it down to the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class, right? Or say poor people, you know, people that are well off, and people that are very wealthy. The lower class, nobody is right or wrong, but in each category, they idolize or they worship or they value a particular thing. The lower class people are those that are of the brokest. They idolize or value material things, name brand
Wow,
stuff.
yes.
You know, name brand stuff. Like that means
That's so
that
true.
makes them feel validated, right? That makes them feel like, you know, I got me some Gucci on, or that makes them feel important. It makes them feel worthy. It makes them feel valued. That's what they value. The middle class, which is the hardest one, y'all, I can't tell. Give me that person, at least they're gonna run for something if I put them in the environment. Give me the lower class, please, first. Because the middle class, they're in that middle. Like the lower class people know that they broke or poor or don't have, and they want more of nice things. So it's gonna be easy for them in this space. Middle class is dangerous because the middle class person is usually a little educated. That's how they able to make a little bit more money. And what they glorify, value, or worship or idolize is their titles.
That's so true.
And their degrees. So now these are the people who, you know, I got my degree, you know, they bought into the American dream or whatever they call it in the United Kingdom more than anybody else. So they don't realize that they might have been tricked a little bit. And so they kind of feel like I'm above. If you feel like you're above this, it's going to be really difficult, a little bit more for you to embrace it, because you feel like it's beneath you, even though the evidence is apparent, right? And in the upper class, I'm just going to be honest with you, the people who are in a different tax bracket, what we value, idolize, or whatever the case may be, is our net worth and our network.
There you go.
So you're going to always hear us talk about our mentors and who we know and who we connected to. You know, I'm not saying none of them right or wrong, but you can tell what people are based on what they value or idolize or whatever the case may be. And so with that being said, you looking for people that's hungry. You're looking for, and before you could talk about what you're looking for, the person has to be clear, like the amount of work that it takes to do this is similar to the amount of work that it takes when you're doing your job. So the same way people go in their job and they got case after case, or a file after file, a call after call, or whatever they work consists of, that they got, the amount of work you put into that is the amount of work you have to put into this. It's just that you're going to get 4 times more here than you would have got there for the same amount of work. So if you don't work this like that, and you know that you need people in your business and you're not working it like that, you're not going to get the results, which means that you're not going to come in contact with enough people. Gary Roberts talks about going through your deck of cards. How quick do you get through 52 people? How quickly do you get through 52 people? How quickly do you invite 52 people? New people. Because if you're just dealing with your team, and here's another thing, you don't have a team until you've built it 4 levels deep. So you brought somebody in who's brought somebody in who's brought somebody in, and now you got 4 levels deep. Now you have a team.
Now you got a team.
Now you got a team. Not because you got 5 people who don't even want.
No, because you got your cousin and your auntie.
Yeah, you don't have a team yet.
You know, the best friend from school. That's not a team.
Yeah, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. Hey,
you know, it's crazy. It's so crazy you say that, because I know, you know, we communicate a lot. You know, we always have, you know, rich talk, and we were speaking recently regarding just exposing more people, just connecting, you know, with more people. You know, you were there, able to have a freeway, and you've always been, like I said, someone who leads by example, and that is something that I've seen you do. And I've got to even be honest, because I said this just now on the book club, you know, sometimes when I've been around that a long time, so though I was there to support it, it was kind of intimidating for me to put myself in that space. Oh my gosh, now I get flashbacks now thinking, oh my gosh, how did Chyna ever do this? Oh my God, I get it now. Oh my God, I get what she used to say. It's so crazy, because what the questions I ask her is saying, you know, how to make people responsive. It's like I've always got the vision. I've always locked in with the vision. I just always found it comfortable to play support role rather than front role. Like that was always really intimidating, but somewhere along the line, it's not about you. It's not about you, UK. It's not about you, Maren.
It's not about you.
When it comes to making people responsive, I think what I can take from your leadership and from watching you is that was never really your focus. Your focus has always been what you've been called to do, what you know, the mission that you're on. You know who you answer to. So you've always been catch me if you can, basically. So I think I could probably
stay close.
For real. So I mean, and I've even been there where, you know, you kind of can fade out, and you can get a grade out real quick if you wait running. It's like, okay, cool, UK, I'll see you soon. Right?
See, for me, I'm more focused on my assignment that God called me to than who he puts in position. We're going to get to the destination. The question is, who's going to be with us? We're going somewhere beautiful. We're going somewhere amazing. So if you're not willing to grow out of your way, grow out of your way. Grow out of your way where you realize it's not about me. It's not about my personality type. It's not about feeling rejected. It's you gotta have a desire. Listen, there is nothing on the planet today that's putting Black people all around the world in a position to do what we're doing right now. Period. Hundreds of Black people have become millionaires.
Right.
Because they were willing to, but what I mean, Black though, Black. Yeah. In this company is what I'm saying. Yes. But the reality of it is, like, even right now, age-wise, like I'm targeting specifically the young, fresh minds, because you gotta also understand, depending on who you're talking to, like, they got different goals and different appetites. So some people just want to pay the bills. And so if they make an extra $5,000 a month, shoot, they might be relaxed. They might be good. And some people, they got an unlimited, you know, vision of what they want. So they want a Lamborghini.
Yeah, they want Bugattis and Bentleys. I was just gonna say.
They want a Lamborghini. So they're 18. Ain't nobody telling them they can't get it because they see they home. Come on, y'all can come, because I know where we going. I know the vehicle can get you there, right? And I know we need that kind of momentum and energy, and that's really important right now. Yeah,
that's such a great answer. I mean, shout outs to King Rich in Nigeria. He said that he's so honored to hear you speak powerful words. And he has a big event tomorrow, so I just gotta plug his event. Make sure you guys follow at King Rich on IG. So he says, his question is, what was the event that gave birth to Rich University, and how many people did you have in the community before you established Rich University?
So Rich University wasn't like an event. It wasn't even network marketing. It derived from the parent company, Rich Inc. And Rich University. Rich Inc. You remember, right? And God just gave me a vision for it about 7 years ago. And Rich University was birthed because it was now going to be a community of people that we could provide financial literacy to, because what I found in our community is we had an issue with being rich anyway. The word itself bothered a lot of people.
Yes, true.
Believers. And so it was a way to get them away from whatever their connection was to being rich. And for us, rich wasn't just about money. That's why we didn't choose wealth, because it was about being rich in the spirit. It's about knowing who you are, royalty, inspirational, courageous, and humble. Bigger than just a network. Like, it had nothing to do with network marketing. I didn't even know what an IM was, or it had nothing to do with any of my network marketing companies. So it wasn't an event or anything like that. And when I started in this particular business, what I know about success is success loves speed. So the best thing that you could do is go fast by being coachable. Like, just to get the calls and call everybody you know. It doesn't matter what they say. I've never been connected emotionally to somebody's response on what I was providing to them. I know that whatever I'm calling you for can help you win, and it's up to you to see that, but I'm going to make the calls. I'm going to pick up the phone and call you and let you know. I know there's no way I'm calling your phone and I'm bothering you. I provide too much value, and that's the issue that a lot of people deal with. I don't want to call this one because they're successful. No, they got bills, they need money. I don't want to call this one because I'm doing other things before. It don't matter. They need to make. Everybody is looking for what we have, and when you think like that, you know that you bring value everywhere that you go. So,
you know, even saying that, talking about success like in speed, and talking about how kind of you just move straight off the mark, like it was like ready, set, go, we going. How long did it take you to get to let's say P1000, and that guys is like the third rank in our company. You go from $150 a month, $150, shout out to Residual Fridays, that's where you start, or where you first get to. Then P600, where you're earning $600 a month, and that's a total of 12 people in your team. I know how long it took you to get to P6, so you know, you've told me before, but at the beginning, you know, when, like we said, this space wasn't something that you were privy to. What gave you once you've answered that question, the second part is, what gave you the confidence to even get to those, you know, to reach out to those people and get them to join you with what you was doing, when you wasn't even really, were you sure about what you was doing or what this was?
No, I wasn't sure about what I was doing. Absolutely not. Not only was I not sure about what I was doing, I wasn't even going to do it because I didn't want to be unsure, like negatively. So no, I did not trade for about 90 days.
Wow.
I came out the gate building. I was definitely not going to trade because I wasn't interested in the product. I knew it worked, but not for people like me. I had told myself, oh, that's not going to work for people like me. So let me go get people this going to work for, right? So I didn't trade for 90 days. I hit P1000 probably in about 7 days because I was a Secret Service agent. So I was sneaking because I was already still in another company and I know God was moving me and I didn't know how to let go. I'm a very loyal person, loyal to a default.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I can definitely
So I was
say
so loyal to the other CEO's vision. I've always worked with the CEOs. That's just what it is. I'm more concerned with the visionary than the product itself. I want to connect to the visionary. So I was working with that CEO. I had an event that I was planning for him in Atlanta, and I was feeling like I was betraying him a little bit, but Holy Spirit was leading me here. So simultaneously, I'm meeting Christopher Terry, and I'm doing an event for Harold Sykes, and it's like I'm feeling some kind of way because I'm like, oh my God.
There you go with those upper class network.
Yeah, but we sat down eye to eye with it too, though. And I stood up to it. We sat down eye to eye, boss to boss. So I let him boss the boss. I connected with Chris boss to boss. But nevertheless, when I came in, the compensation plan was different from what it is now. It was very attractive and I needed some money. If you need some money in the comp right here, it's easy to just talk to people. You're going to pay me to talk to people. And I didn't do no presentations because I was incognito. I didn't want nobody to know I was here. I signed my business up, not even myself, because I didn't want my name to hit the back office. It's one of those names like, oh,
wow, for real.
Yeah.
And it was rich day one, right? It was rich.
From day one. That's the only reason people think I have a team name. I've never had a team name before in my life. Like I never did team names. So I snuck up in this mug. So that's why Rich even came, but anyway, the point is, as it relates to pace, 1 week in Platinum 1000, I think I got, to Platinum 1000, things started to get a little shaky very fast when I got to the company. We had to stop building. Then we had to eventually focus on trading because we were going through business cycles, things to prepare us to become $1 billion company. And so I learned to trade, but it doesn't have anything to do with your trading skill. You are not the educator. And I think that's the biggest piece that people get caught up on. If you are trading and building, you can do it, but you're not going to do it fast. You're not going to do it fast. You'll do it maybe a moderate pace, but you can really get trading. If you want to have fast success, come in and build a team right quick, especially if you ain't got no money to put the kind of money you need.
You go.
Because trading is a slower pace and building is a faster pace. So how you want to get your money, fast or slow? And I needed money fast at that time. So I needed the fast track money. So I did the system. I invited people to calls, they presented, and I got other people on three-way calls. All you gotta do to win in this industry is be great at inviting. You gotta invite everybody. That's all you gotta do to win in this industry. Invite.
Wow, it's so amazing hearing you say that because you really are a student of the game. You're such a leader that has integrity because everything that you tell us to do, you've done it in the trenches. You still work at P150 level as far as I'm concerned. Like you would never believe that you was, a sneeze away from $100,000 a month with a team of almost 5,000. Every single thing on you, and it's coming before Christmas. 10K for the holiday, 100K for the holiday for the Bethleys. So no, that's amazing. I'm so glad that you really touched on that point because that's a conversation that I'm having with my team members a lot. I know everybody's attracted, to trading. Me, me, I'm a trader. Me, I didn't think I would like the charts and all the rest of it, but I like to be on my phone. But like you said, it's a process. So it's a process that you can get pretty quickly, but it's a process that also you need access. I'm just going to be, we speak the real tea, the good, the bad, and the not so cute. You need access to disposable income, and who's better money than Chris Terry's money to pump into your account every Friday? Woo, woo, shout out Residual Friday. There's literally nothing better, guys. There's literally nothing better than going and selling a couple of people.
Time, Panda's in the chat for Christopher Terry. Panda's in the
chat. Panda. He is a visionary. When you're talking about connecting with the CEO's vision, we know, yes, pandas. We know that our mission is to impact 1 million families. We know that our mission is to impact nations and generations. That's God's calling, on your life. And now that people, everybody else who have been magnetized to that because there's something in their spirit that also speaks to. But also our CEO, his thing was to bring Wall Street to Main Street. So that's an impact thing. He's from, you know, New York. So how does me, a girl in Manchester, how does a King Rich in Nigeria, you know, a babe in Dubai, you know, we've been oh my gosh, that's even another thing to talk about, all the places in the world that we've been. Oh, I can't wait till they open back up the gates of the world. But anyway, we're wrapping up now, guys. So if anybody wants to join the Rich Table, please go ahead and raise your hand. And I've got these last two questions from Mr. A. It says, when will we next see you here in the UK? Mr. and Mrs. A, that's my mum and dad, guys, have more British traditions to show you, and brother Andre. He says the fish and chips are waiting for you.
Hey, oh, I still remember those chips. I think what was it that we had in that restaurant? I absolutely loved them. There were chips. I don't know if it was.
Oh, was it prawn crackers, or I think it was prawn.
It probably was. I will come back just to eat for sure. I will definitely come back to eat.
Yeah, I know we like to eat.
I would love to come back though when it's not so rainy. I heard it's always kind of rainy like that, so hopefully it's not going to be too rainy. But if it is going to be raining, definitely not rainy and cold. I would say I challenge you.
One or the other.
I challenge you guys to go P5000, and we schedule a trip to come back to United Kingdom. Let's go P5000. Let's go.
There we go. That's all we need to do. And last question here is from Miss Joanna UK. It says, what a blessing. I just know you were an answer to our prayers, Dr. Chyna. I felt so comfortable knowing that you were with our daughter. This is it's weird reading about myself. We will always be grateful to you and your husband for your kindness. So that's a nice giving you some nice thanks there.
Joanna, it's a blessing. It's definitely God aligned it and assigned it, and you know, obedience is amazing. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So amen.
Most definitely. Well, you know, it's been an absolutely phenomenal show. I know that you're always booked and busy, productive and fruitful. So we ain't going to stay on here all day. You know, you guys have really had an insight into the woman behind the mission, a real insight into, you know, what is a Rich? Where did Rich come from? We've gone full cycle. You know, you've seen people in the space. We've been talking big bank all month long. We've been talking, you know, from numbers to freedom to people who fired their bosses to people who, you know, bought houses, mansions and cars. And this is the amazing SHE.E.O that is behind the whole vision. So, I mean, right about now, like I said, there's only so long you can peek through those curtains and look through the window. Come inside, you know, reach out to the person who invited you here tonight, who thought highly of you, to say, you know what, we're having a wealthy conversation and I want to invite you to the table. There's not many, there's 8 weeks till Christmas, about less than 50 days till 2021. What decision will you make today which will define the kind of year you have in 2021, irrespective of who's in government, irrespective of what's happening with a pandemic, a mandemic, or whatever's going on out there in those streets? It's so crazy because inside here, inside the rich walls, all we talk is that guapanese, that JPY. We talk leveling up. We just talk growing to the next level and self-development. And we really want you to be here with us on the inside. So if there's nothing else that anybody wants to add, I don't know if Chyna, if you want to close us out with anything at all before we go into our amazing Residual Friday evenings. What time is it out there? I know the clocks have gone back here as well.
It's right at 6 o'clock. So yeah, we're gonna go. I love it. So yeah, listen, if you're watching and you're not a part of the family, get in now. Don't hesitate. Don't stop. If you are watching and you are a part of the family, you know that you haven't given it your best. You know that you've been working to figure everything out and looking for the perfect time and the perfect scenario. It doesn't exist. I tell you right now, all limits, remove it now. Remove the caps. You have something in front of you now that won't always be available to you. So if you made it in now, it's because God has catapulted you into the future. And because you're in the future and time hasn't quite caught up yet, it's catching up. But because time hasn't quite caught up yet, your conversation and explaining this to people may be a little bit more interesting now than it will be. It's going to come a time where people are going to come looking for us and asking for what it is that we have. But you got to be here when that time happens. So I encourage you to get out of your way, go and invite everybody. You know, we have a big something big happening Sunday. I don't want to date the call because something big is happening on Sunday. I challenge you today to invite everybody you know and let us help you catapult and launch your business so that you can treat this business like a business and get paid like a business. So move out of your way. Go ahead and reinvent yourself and go ahead and introduce yourself to the world as who you
get out the way and be on the way. And while you're on the way, we will see you at the top, because you guys know it's way too crowded at the bottom. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Rich Table Talk and Cuts. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you guys. See you soon. Rich Table Talk. Peace.
Woo!
Hey, I said my money hit different. I can make 1,000 in a minute.
In a minute.
If you ain't trading, you tripping. You better get down with the business. I said my money hit different. I can make 1,000
In a minute. In a minute.
If you ain't trading, you tripping. You better get down with the business.
There go.
Different.
Hey.
Different fit.
Hey.
Hey, quick, y'all.
Oh.
Peace out.
Let's get the skrill.
That's that
Let's
fake
get the
Google.
skrill. Residual Friday.
Oh.
Every Friday.
That's all that I had to bring.
Hey.
You gotta have a why.
Hey.
It gotta make sense.
What?
Make you cry.
Hey.
You can grow rich.
Believe without the lie. If you
Peace.
ain't signing up, I'm cutting ties.
Bye.
So how you gonna sit here and watch?